you should all try it. Oh. 1/4 for God, and 1/4 for Adam, and for me. I'm not selfish. Not me.
Herr Counsel, your defendants have pled guilty. What is your response? They have led these activities for 4 years, Judge Sunset, without any of us noticing it. There is no response.
The defense is much bitterer against us than the prosecution.
In the New Reich, the role of the defense is not, as in other countries, to pretend that the guilty are innocent. It is limited to stressing extenuating circumstances and pleading in mitigation.
That's very reasonable, but in our case, it does not apply. The defense could hardly deny facts that we have admitted from the very moment of our arrest. In the New Reich, is the counsel expected to insult his clients?
Has your counsel insulted you?
Well, I presumed that insult must be a matter of personal feeling. Still, if anyone told you that you had allowed yourself to be influenced by propaganda which appeals to the lowest instincts of human being, I think you would not like it.
If you had conducted your case, what would you have said?
I think that I would have only asked you one question. If you were told that at this very moment in your country, in Germany, 2 middle-aged women were doing exactly what we have done here, would you blame them?
But are you not afraid of the punishment?
Perhaps I shall be afraid when the time comes. I can't tell.
No, nobody can tell.
I have such a small and compact feet. They seem stunted, but not. It is because I regularly squeeze them into a vase of stiff linen and rigid lace, as the Chinese do. This constant and exquisite torture fills me with pleasure. If I were a queen, to marry the lowest of my subjects, to make him mistreat me, punch me, drag me all around the palace in front of the court. My life is so boring. Before, it wasn't like that. It was even exciting. My father remained married. And I was very happy about it because I always dreamt of having a stepmother. Ah, she was horrible to me. I loved her. But the best were my 2 stepsisters. Oh, they were deliciously cruel. I especially loved the elder, who despised me delightfully. Sadly, they got married and left us soon, leaving me with my parents, who at that time were devoted to each other and didn't pay too much attention to me. I would do anything to avoid a marriage like that. But what can I do with my living nature? I'm so submissive. Oh, if I were a queen, if I were a queen.
I can make your fantasies real and make you become a queen. I know the prince very well. He has a passion for women's shoes, to touch them, to kiss them, to let himself be trampled underneath their charming heels. For this royal lover, one must be the haughty mistress, the pitiless dominatrix in high heels, someone you could be, who you understand.
But, good mother, you demand the most horrible sacrifice of me. This man is the opposite of what my heart wants.
Every sacrifice has its own reward. You will feel in playing your part an emotion more profound than those you've so far known all too well. Accept my presence and behave as I commend you. Be proud and fierce, as mysterious as the ideal, and to flee without fail on the stroke of midnight, losing, but in full view of the prince, who will be following you, your little left slipper.
Persuaded by my godmother, I accepted her presents. Oh, are they not cute? I would love to be trampled underneath these horses. I'm sorry, but I must leave. I won't have time to do my performance in front of the prince.
Now, no sooner had God swallowed the indigestible apple, then was seized by the violent anger. He had driven Adam and me from paradise. Adam and me, our children, all the apple eaters, we learn, thanks to this fruit, that good existed and the evil existed, but eternally tormented. We cannot recognize which is which. And as the advertisement said, 1/4 is not enough. And I'm still hungry.
I saw the prince! I saw the prince! Alas! He blushes. He naively told me that he blushes if he passes in front of a display of shoes. But a display of flesh does not touch his tolerant and modest soul. It's disgusting. Okay, what is important is to become the princess. When I become the princess, godmother helping, I will have myself be beaten, humiliated, mistreated, and hit by the lowest of my subjects. Oh.
The house of the book lovers for those that doesn't know French. Opened in 1915 in Paris. The sender, of the French Vanguard Literary Society. And Claude was one of the first volunteers to staff the bookstore. Yeah, she knew me well, my taste in literature and my aversion to surrealism. But Paris at that moment was invaded by that movement, and it was a very difficult, trendy fashion to avoid. I wanted to help Claude and give her an opportunity, so I asked her to write an intimate journal, a confession. The reality is that women at that time were not expected to write serious fictional novels, but write autobiographies to entertain the curiosity of the public, and hers was an uncommon figure, being a woman, an artist, and a lesbian in the 20s. Just think about it. That could have been a blast! A total bestseller! Don't you think so? And what was her response? 2 months later, she's coming to the bookstore with what she called her biography. A vue non avenue. Disavows. So a non-confession, and she wanted me to publish it, which of course I did not. It was an incomprehensible book. 9 chapters introduced by a photo montage, each of them even more incomprehensible.
Marcel made a photo montage. I finally published it in 1930.
She found some unknown publisher, and the impact, as I predicted, was very limited.
Well, ostracism was more or less the general response.
You could have written something more comprehensible. Something to bring some light on your persona, not to confuse us.
Looking at my life as a whole, I am what I have always been, surrealist, essentially.
Her stubbornness was the end of our friendship. And years have passed since I saw Claude for the last time. And now I'm here today to finally hear her confessions, because I never heard them. Probably it's too late for me. It's too late for her. It's too late for you. It's too late. It's too late for all of us. It's too late. It's too late.
I write, or want to write, against myself. At the end of the day, the person or group of people you choose to address is of little importance. I close my eyes in order to burn off the orgy. There is too much of everything. I keep silent. I hold my breath. I lie down, curled up, abandoning the confines of my body. I fold myself towards an imaginary center. I have my head shaved, my teeth pulled, and my breasts cut off. Everything that bothers my gaze. My stomach, my ovaries, the conscious and the insistent brain. When I have, but the beating of my heart to know to perfection, surely I have won. But even then, reduced to nothing, I would understand none of it no more. You cannot swallow it all, cannot swallow the tiniest bit of it. The mirror never reflects the same, nor the other, but the two at the same time. Seeing oneself is never a confirmation, but a creation. Individualism, narcissism, of course. It is my strongest tendency, the only intentional constancy I am capable of. Besides, I am lying. I scatter myself too much for that. The death of Narcissus has always seemed totally incomprehensible to me. Only one explanation seems plausible. Narcissus did not love himself. He allowed himself to be deceived by an image. He didn't know how to go beyond appearances. Had he known how to love himself beyond the marriage, his would have been a happy fate.
Or will be overcome by them.
Their leader